Hey Pretty Girl Club, welcome to another video. This episode is another Exotical story time. I just got done eating my smoothie bowl and I was checking my Exoticals United email and I saw this story, so let's go ahead and get into it. She says, "Hey beautifuls, I'm back with another story time. This will cover the trauma I went through on my mother's side of the family. To give you a background, my mom is Black American and around 85% African in DNA, and the rest is South Asian and European. My grandmother's father was mixed with South Asian because he was West Indian/Caribbean. Therefore, although my grandmother has dark skin, it is similar to Indians' types of dark skin. Her hair is also curly but silky and has no kink to it. She didn't inherit afro hair at all. She went through her fair share of problems in childhood because of having good hair and looks at least a quarter Indian instead of 1/8. My mom also has two sisters, but the youngest one has a different dad than my mom and other aunt. She had a white great grandmother, so with those genes and my grandmother's genes, she also has what they call good hair, and the South Asian is very apparent in her as well. They all look like Douglas. Think Nicki Minaj family and Justine Skye. My grandfather was 75% white, but my mom took more after her mom, so she has browner skin. My dad had a grandmother who was 75% white and one who was 50-50, so it makes sense as to why I came out light-skinned. Growing up, my grandmother has called me high yellow ass, and she also told my mom to not allow me to model for the Gap when I was given an opportunity. I was so excited, and every time I asked my mom to call the lady, she kept making excuses. I was also presented an opportunity from my school to travel to different countries because I had awesome grades. My mom didn't allow that as well. Pretty much anything that brought excitement was completely shut down. But anytime I did accomplish something, I got rewarded: money, clothes, and dinner. But I couldn't actually finish or do what I accomplished. I knew I was being sabotaged because when I told my great aunt about those opportunities and she told me my grandmother was saying I'm too cute for that stuff, which doesn't make sense. When I was accepted to get financial aid for college, my grandma congratulated me, but then kept punching me in the arm while saying congratulations over and over again. She was playing, but she was punching me hard and smirking. I was so annoyed and asked her to chill, but she didn't. She didn't listen, so I moved my body over so she couldn't hit me anymore, and then she yelled at me and accused me of trying to kick her. Yeah, these are jealous family members. Whenever you stand out, like I've noticed this with a lot of us, if we are the standout person in the family, like maybe you are getting more opportunities. Maybe you have opportunities for social climbing in particular. So things like modeling, things like getting into college, things like having good grades in high school or standing out because you're smart. A lot of times family members will try to humble you because they see you as already surpassing them. It's like you're only a teenager or, you're really young and you're already surpassing what I did when I was young. Like I said, a lot of people, they want you to be happy. They want you to be successful. They just don't want you to be more happy or successful than them. Let's continue. She says, moving on to my mom. Anytime I would get dressed up really cute, my mom would look me up and down. And when I told her I couldn't wait for summertime so I can get a tan, she said, "You're not that light." Once again, this is one of the main tactics that people try to use against lighter skinned people, particularly if you are not white passing. They try to say you're not that light because they want you to feel inferior to white passing people or to, people who look more light than you. They want you to feel the same inferiority complex about your skin tone that they feel in comparison to your skin tone. So "you're not that light skinned" is probably one of the top comments that thousands of us light skinned women have had on this channel. Let's continue. She says, one time on my 15th birthday, we went to the mall to buy clothes. My mom picked out a shirt that a 7-year-old would wear. It was glittery and had flowers on it. I told her, "No thank you, I don't really like that one." She got angry and snatched my bags of clothes I had from other stores out of my hands and told me to get off my high horse and rolled her eyes at me. She would constantly pick out clothes for me that just wasn't my style, and I started to realize it was on purpose. When a hairstylist messed up my hair, my mom said it's so cute, although it was clearly ugly, and even the rest of my family said the lady did a bad job. My mom would say I looked good when she knew that I didn't like it or wasn't feeling it. But when I felt cute, I only got up and down looks. Even though she told me I looked cute sometimes, the energy and tone would be off. Yeah, this is a typical behavior of a narcissist. So they will every once in a while compliment you because they want to still be able to emotionally manipulate you later on. So they'll make sure not to compliment you every day. They'll make sure to insult you as much as they can. But then every once in a while, they will say something nice because they want you to pedestalize the nice things that they have to say. It's kind of like dangling a carrot in front of you. They are hoping to emotionally dangle a carrot to maintain emotional power over you. Let's continue. She says, there was also a time when I was very depressed and kept my hair in a bun for a long time, and it got matted. I caught her trying to take a picture of it to send to her sister. Years after that, when I opened up about what I was going through at the time, she pretended to care and said she was worried about me because I wasn't myself, yet she tried to take a picture of my hair. It doesn't make sense to take a picture of my hair to make fun of me when I was down, but didn't take my picture when I looked good and felt good. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people, they like to see you at your worst, or they want to take a picture of you when you quote unquote look bad. This actually happened to me before when I used to do modeling. So, you know how they have like high fashion models and sometimes they have unique hairstyles? So, I remember one time I was wearing this hairstyle. It was like more of the unique type. And there was this one girl who was trying to take a picture of my hair. She was unambiguous. She was trying to take a picture of my hair like in a mean way so that she could put it on social media and like make fun of me. And I noticed that a lot of people do this because they are so jealous of your beauty, your phenotype, your social climbing abilities or the opportunities you get. They're so jealous that they want to try to have proof like, haha, I told you she was ugly, or see, look how bad she looks. It's similar to how you take pictures of celebrities when they're fat or when they have cellulite or when you're trying to take them off of the pedestal. You don't like the fact that people look up to that celebrity as a standard of beauty. And so you try to take pictures of them looking bad in order to take them off of the pedestal. And this is what I mean when I say being the pretty girl is like being a celebrity. Being enviable, like when people envy your looks or they envy your phenotype, your hair texture, skin tone, eye color, whatever, then they really do treat you like how they would treat a celebrity. So yes, that includes them wanting to take pictures of you when you look bad. Let's continue. She said, I could tell that deep down she felt happy that I wasn't my best self and didn't dress up how I usually would. I was depressed because I was in a relationship I shouldn't have been in. He was a colorist, by the way, and only liked light-skinned women. I'll save that for another day. I was also still living with my mom and her perverted husband, who I caught watching me get undressed at 14 years old. When I told my family what he did, they all accused me of lying and wanting attention. Yep, I've noticed that a lot of people, they love accusing us of lying about everything. They love saying we're delusional, we're making up stories. Everything we say is because we're so self-absorbed. And this is because since they perceive you as being more beautiful than them, they also associate stereotypes with you that are often associated with people who are beautiful, such as being self-absorbed, being delusional, thinking you're better than others. So if anything, this is really just a confirmation that you are in fact beautiful because they're associating the quote-unquote pretty girl stereotypes to you. But let's continue. She says, everything is better now because they are divorced, but I still don't feel safe with them. I am still gaining my confidence back and trying to push myself to complete all of my goals without feeling guilty about it. Yep, you're better than me because I would have cut her off a long time ago. She would be blocked from my phone, blocked from my bank account. I would never speak to her again. And if she ever wanted to try to gaslight me or ask me questions, I would really tell her why. I would say, actually, what you wrote to me in that email, that's what I would say if necessary. But yeah, I don't like keeping toxic people in my life. And one thing that I never liked is how people, they try to pressure you to tolerate abusive family members. They'll be like, oh, but blood is thicker than water and that's your family and they're all you have. No, they're not all I have. And also, if your family is not emotionally supportive, if you do not feel seen or heard or validated, then what's the purpose? Like, seriously, what's the point of having you in my life? Because if all you're doing is causing me trauma every time I'm around you, and I have to spend the next 6 months to a year to 10 years recovering from the trauma that you caused, why would I continually expose myself to the trigger? One of the main things that I talk about on this channel is removing the triggers. So yes, if the trigger is a person, if it's a boyfriend or a friend or even a family member, then in my opinion, it is perfectly okay. In fact, you should remove that person from your life. for the sake of your own mental health. I currently have two people in my family who I will never see again. One is my uncle. The other is an older cousin of mine. She used to actually make comments similar to what you're describing here. She would make comments about how I think I'm all that, I think I'm better, I am conceited, blah, blah, blah. She would constantly punish me for the smallest things. And like, she wanted me to be in timeout all the time, in my room, locked in the room all the time. And she didn't want me to interact with the other cousins and basically have fun. And to this day, 15 years later, I am no longer talking to her ever because she gives narcissistic mom vibes, or, kind of like abusive, toxic vibes. And so I'm not talking to her anymore and never will again. I have told my immediate family members, hey, just so you know, if we ever have a Christmas party or Thanksgiving or whatever, and those two people are going to be there, I will not show up. I do not care if it's a wedding. I don't care if it's a funeral. I don't care if it's the birth of a child. I don't care if it's Christmas, anniversary, vacation, or whatever it is. I'm not participating. And I also don't care what anyone thinks. And so for me, I am now known in the family as the one who will cut people off and never speak to them again. And you know what? That's great, because I'd rather be known as that than be known as a doormat. And by the way, this isn't towards you, like I'm not calling you a doormat or anything, but I do feel like sometimes parents, they will mistake your kindness for weakness, and they want emotional control over their children. A lot of crazy, selfish, narcissistic parents, they have children because they want unconditional love. They know that a child, especially if you're like really young, like 5 or 6 years old, they know that a child will still go back to the parent even after the parent abuses it. And so a lot of abusive people, they want children because they know, oh, I can abuse them and treat them like crap and they'll always come back to me. They'll never leave me. Nope. Do not give them that satisfaction. Not everybody deserves your presence. Not everyone deserves your tears. Not everybody deserves your emotional investment. Not everyone deserves your love. And yes, that could include your own parents. That could include siblings. I actually have an episode coming up soon about jealous siblings. Like, let's say you have a half sibling and maybe they have a different background or different phenotype, different mom and dad, or a different mom or a different dad than you, and they want to treat you badly, or, they want to use these humbling tactics against you. I would say the same thing, because it's like, okay, just like how you didn't discriminate when it came to you choosing to hate on me, you weren't thinking when you were dissing me, oh, well, blood is thicker than water and family comes first. You weren't thinking any of that. So why is it that I suddenly have to think of that? Why is it that I suddenly have to be the bigger person? No, some people will be the bigger person, but I know that for me personally, no, I'm not always going to be the bigger person. If I feel traumatized by you, or if you are constantly triggering me and stuff, then I'm not going to allow you back into my life. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.